Hello again, I'm Little McGriddle. Welcome back to Zombie Exodus. Now, I've tried recording this one once last night. Oh no, it was this morning because today is Wednesday. As you know, I always do this on Wednesdays. But me being the dummy, I deleted both of the recordings of the video before I saved the edited version. I mean, I thought it would work, but then the file was corrupted, and then, hi, we're here. This time I'm going to do it with a little more excitement. Maybe put some pizzazz in the reading because it probably sounds monotonous or something like that. And also, I don't know if any of you are enjoying Zombie Exodus. I mean, there's not much activity going around this series. I mean, for the person who suggested for me to do this series, I haven't actually seen him interact on any of the newer videos. I don't know if he's lost interest in this series. I don't know if you guys have lost interest in the series. But if you have, then please let me know. And maybe I'll put a stop to it, or if you are enjoying it, let me know that as well. But for now, let's get into it. Yay! Okay. Breakfast, Chloe, calls Emma from below. By the time you look down, she is gone. Everyone is still shaken up about last night, so you're not surprised by her tone. You flash a mirror, bending the rays at JAVIER, so he knows you are leaving the watch post. Descending the ladder, you leave the gun by the side wall and head west through the archway, into the gathering room, where the kitchen and diner area have been staged. Heather, Emma, Tom, Mindy, Carl, and Candace sit at the main table eating their morning allotment of oatmeal. Uncle Lou stands next to the stove, stirring a large metal pot. What you wouldn't give for something other than oatmeal. Hey, I like oatmeal. I mean, I don't know, I hope you guys like oatmeal. Yeah, of course. Everybody likes oatmeal, but of course not if you're constantly eating it day in and day out, I guess. Emma walks over to you with a bowl, steam radiating from it. Make sure you eat it all today. She leans in and close to a whisper. I added an extra pat of butter. The crew looks visibly tired, but after the double assault of zombies and raiders, it is not surprising. You have had attacks from the living dead almost nightly over the past 2 weeks. That those in the cities have started moving it. Pardon me. But I feel like we've read this. Yep, we've read this. Oh boy. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. Now we're where we should be. June 24th, 2012, 6 weeks from the outbreak. A noise startles you awake. A scratch or tapping, distant but sharp enough to hear in your deep slumber. You sit up in bed inside the cathedral dorm, alone. Sheets and skin drenched in sweat. Stomach tight, breathing rapid. The window is closed and the wind knocks against glass, brushing by tiny stones and twigs. Your forearms are scratched, long and superficial, skin embedded under your fingernails. Was I having a nightmare? The clock reads 8:45. Oh, dude. You were like, it's 8:42. So close. Oh, that would have been funny. Breakfast is almost over. No one woke you? Rising from bed, I get dressed and see if anyone's on the second level. You head into the hallway and hear no voices, no sounds, no movement beyond your own footsteps across the cold wooden floor. On the opposite side of the hallway, there are several other rooms, and you head toward, Mindy, JAVIER. Also, a little bit of interesting advice for old JAVIER here. He's not all he is cracked up to be. I think I'm just going to go downstairs and go to the gathering. Hearing the sounds of people talking and dishes clanking from below, you head downstairs to the gathering. In the gathering, Emma and Heather stand at one end of the central table, clearing dishes, while Uncle Lou and Jason sit at the opposite end, still eating. No one looks your way as you enter. You step inside and might as well grab a bowl of oatmeal and sit alone. That's basically me every day when I'm eating my meals. The gray liquid in the pot hisses as you ladle a spoonful into your bowl. The quicksand mixture blows steam up as you cross over to the central table and sit at the vacant edge. You make quick work of the meal and keep your mind clear from distractions in the room. Though you were late for breakfast, maybe it is better to be late and left alone. Only a few minutes go by before Javier enters the gathering and walks over to you, his shaggy brown hair covering most of his face, like lying across his eyes. The stubble on his face has odd missing patches, like a poorly kept lawn. Okay, that's a weird way of describing it. Tom would like to see you in his office, he says, immediately turns and walks away. Yeah, okay, thanks, Javier, you douche. You finish up the meal and head over to Tom's office. Tom stands at his desk, hands pressed firmly down on a large folded map of the area. As you enter, he extends a hand to the brown, withered leather couch against the wall, and you push aside a pile of books to sit. Tom's appearance has altered the least among the survivors in the past weeks. Always a slim but toned man, he has maintained his weight and vigor despite the rationing of food. His beard is thick and sharply cut, like a statue etched in stone. Damn, that's some beard. And his eyes always show an intensity, as if he's holding back some secret of the world and revealing it through those dark blue circles. A sole concern has been the survival of your group. Meticulous planning has led all of you through the past 6 weeks with the best results possible, given the circumstances. Before Tom looks up from the map, you ask about... I don't wanna... Yeah, sure, we'll ask him about zombie exodus. The theory on zombie exodus started when Jason picked up some communications with other survivors, some of whom claimed to be U.S. government officials, looking at the numbers of zombies in densely populated cities and understanding their motivations. They came up with several educated guesses. First, zombies need food, just like any other organism, but the food is non-infected flesh. The virus wires their brains to find food, and therefore, when they bite non-infected flesh, it passes on the virus. Without food, zombies die like any other living thing. As the population of non-infected humans dies off, zombies will move out of cities and search for food. Their exodus will push them to the suburbs, like it's doing now, and we're all screwed. The second point is that Jason has heard of zombie exoduses happening already in other parts of the country. In Philadelphia, 2 weeks ago, zombie hordes ravaged the small towns outside of the city, driving through like locusts on a feeding frenzy. Not only did they kill the living, but their sheer numbers decimated buildings and farms and bridges and anything in their path. Tom leans back and looks up at the ceiling. I fear nothing more than zombie exodus. Shaken by his words, you think it best to change the subject and ask why he sent for me. Let's get down to business. I don't know. I'm sorry. No copyright. Stop. We're good. It was my words. Okay, he says and turns to pin the map to the wall. Taped beside it is a list of the current status of supplies. We only have water, food, and energy for 1 day. Medicine is adequate, and fuel is low. Oh, great. Days until ZE, about 30. 30 days, we're all screwed. Our food supply is dangerously low. We need to supplement it, or we will be starving soon. Chloe, I'd like you to take a run for those supplies. Of course, Tom. I'm happy to help you. I can do anything for you. Boop. Javier and Emma step into the room. Oh, my God. Anyone but him. I do not want him to come on this trip with me. Tom, may I make a suggestion? Javier states. Most of the grocery stores and supermarkets are empty. It makes no sense to, how do you say, squeeze blood from a stone. But Emma and me, on our trip for supplies last week, ran into a military depot. We did not go inside, but maybe this is good for us to search. I had a really bad feeling about that place, Emma says. She shifts on her feet and shakes her head side to side. Well, what other choices do we have? Tom asks. Like Javier said, we have a few options. Javier and Chloe, you two to go together. Investigate and report back. If it appears to have a sizable cache of food or supplies, radio us. We can send out another group to help haul it back. Well, guess what? Spoilers. They don't. Javier says she get packed and ready to go soon, at least before 11 a.m. You glance at your watch. 9:38. As you walk outside to head to the supply room, Emma pulls you off to the side of the hallway and waits for Javier to leave the area. Listen, that place you're going is not safe. I don't have concrete evidence, but it's just a feeling that there's danger inside. Besides, Javier is a wild card, so even if you do go, he's not reliable enough to have your back. You reply, what do you mean wild card, Emma? He kept pushing and pushing to move faster everywhere we went. He walked through the woods with no care for caution or safety. I kept behind cover like I've been taught, but Javier, he made noise, took shots at tree branches just for the hell of it, and even joked about trying to catch a zombie to bring it back to the cathedral. You know what happened in The Walking Dead? You can't rely on him or trust him. Emma leans against the wall, slowly banging her fist against it. Her eyes are dark and cloudy, making you wonder if she's gotten any sleep in a while. Her lips are chapped and slightly swollen, and her hair is pulled back tightly in a sharp ponytail. Much like the vague image of your mother you have tucked far back in your memory. Aw, Mama. As you walk to the supply room west of the gathering, Emma follows behind. We only checked out the military depot for a few minutes, because I told Javier I was leaving him if he went any further. There was a chain-link fence and wall around the place, like this tiny path leading up to the doors. The whole place isn't even that big, like maybe the size of the church here. The entrance was totally dark, even though it was midday. Javier tries to open the door, but it was locked up. He wedged a crowbar into the door, but it wouldn't budge. There was some kind of security camera on the circular thing that moved once, though Javier swears it didn't. Well, perhaps there is, and Javier may be right about that. Well, anyway, let's head to the depot. On a brand new adventure. This is gonna go well. Progress saved. Inside the supply area, you look over the shelves of guns and other supplies. First, you take a black backpack and pack it with 2 sandwiches and 6 bottles of water. You take a canteen of water and connect it to the back of your belt. You look over the items across the shelves and consider other supplies for the trip. If you're carrying 10 pounds, you can carry a max of around 25. Which item do you take? I am going to be smart about this, and there's a reason why. I'm going to take the assault rifle, and I'm going to go down and take the cavalry sword. On the top of a shelf, you spot an old cavalry sword that's been sharpened recently by Javier. You remove it from the shelf and strap it around your waist. Considering the weight of all you gather and cannot carry any more, however, you fit a pen and notepad in your backpack to keep notes on the trip and anything you may find. We find a lot of stuff on this trip. As you pick the last of your items, Emma grips your arm and stops you from leaving. Her right hand is blistered and the skin is cracking red and flaky. Chloe, if you get back, we have to talk. I mean, when you get back, I need to talk to you. Of course, you can talk to me about anything. Emma nods and gives a slight smile. She releases her arm, turns on her heels, and heads out of the room. You head through the gathering into the sanctuary where Javier is giving his gear a last check. In the room are Uncle Lou keeping watch along the catwalk, Jason has computer array, and Heather sitting against a folding table with a pile of various electronic equipment. After loading the Ford F-150 truck with gear, you get final instructions from Tom. Scout first and only enter the depot if it appears abandoned. As Emma leans in for a final goodbye, she wraps her arms around your shoulder, yanks you in close, and whispers, "Watch your back out there. You're all alone. Don't rely on Javier." You head to the passenger side, as Javier is already inside the driver's seat. With a final look back at the cathedral and at Emma, you turn your attention to the road and the trek to the military depot. Good God, Javier, what have you done for Emma to tell me not to trust you? Are you a spy? It takes 40 minutes through many winding back roads to reach your destination. The sun decorates the midday sky, burning orange through the light blue canvas, its blurred edge nearly hypnotizing. Turning a sharp bend, you see a gate entrance to a well-paved path. with a sign above reading Scar Road Depot. Tree branches and vines hide most of the tall metal gate. You spot a stone wall starting on both sides, leading away in a tight circle. The path is short and ends at a four-car lot with bright painted lanes and a blue handicap symbol on the ground. JAVIER parks the truck sideways and turns off the motor. You consider it now to be an opportunity to discuss any plans or strategies while on the mission. Now, I am going to let him know that I'm going to kick his butt and I'm in charge. And we're calling the charges. We're calling the shots. JAVIER, before we move ahead, I just want to set some ground rules. I am in charge here, so when I give an order, follow it or there will be repercussions. Is that clear? JAVIER nods and smiles. Sure, whatever you say, boss, he says and hops out of the truck. The depot entrance is only 1 story tall and made of charcoal gray stone and tan concrete, giving the image of a World War II bunker. Brownish ivy grows across the roof, and the nameplate across the top is partially torn off to read Skradep. Okay then. Tall dying trees wrap around the edge of the walls, and the overgrowth of dull green plant life creates natural barriers from circling around the building to check for another entrance. Nice. A shoebox-sized camera sits atop a single metal door. See? What was that? There's a camera there. You're right. As you draw closer, the door appears to have no handle, and the seam of the door, as well, is barely visible, as dirt and dust have covered it over a dense film. JAVIER pushes against the door, kicks the bottom of it with a loud bong, and slides his fingers along the seam. What do? Can't use a crowbar, can't combat knife, I am going to go to the back and look for another entrance. You back away and look to the north, where the side of the building is covered over with foliage. The area is still. No birds or animals move about, nor sounds of insect or the wind can be heard. The air is somewhat foggy, but clear enough to see through. You step close to a thicket of dense bush, wrap your hands into it, and yank. It sways, but seems firmly planted into the ground. You push it against to see where it's going. It's connected to the earth, and view healthy roots poking from the dirt ground. You walk a few paces further north and see a small gap between a series of vines and a bush. Chloe! From behind you, JAVIER yells loudly, and you hear movement of something mechanical from the depot entrance. Find your way, and I'm going to continue on my new path. You ignore JAVIER and step forward through the narrow walkway between the stone wall of the depot and thick flora of the forest. The area is overgrown with tall weeds and other plants you hope are not poisonous. Walking roughly 20 feet takes 5 minutes. You listen and do not hear JAVIER calling you anymore. Following the wall, your foot hits into a small raised area of ground, which you check to reveal a portion of cement. The wall near it appears no different as the rest of the structure. However, a strange curve of light hits against an odd patch of marble, revealing stone of a shade different than the rest. You press it, and the wall moves and swings inward. That's clever. You step through the door, and I take a drink of water, because my voice is dying. Hey, can't even open my water bottle. Pardon me. This is where I'm not going to be an idiot. The room was well lit by a light panel overhead and appears as a standard office roughly 10 feet by 10 feet in dimension, with 2 metal desks and chairs, a mini refrigerator, 2 computers, fax, and a desktop printer. There are no windows and only a narrow door against the right wall. Vents around the top of the room buzz as lukewarm air pumps in. Desks are locked shut, but the paperwork, pen holders, and other materials are arranged neatly on the desks. The computers are on at a dull black screen with a simple line of text. Ready? I've got nothing to enter into that, and it doesn't work anyway. Leave the system. You glance around the rest of the room. 2 nameplate placards are set on the wall. Jonathan Helms and Michael Monterey. The fax machine and printer have a thick layer of dust and no paper, while the refrigerator has a simple piece of tape across the door with the word list in it in blue marker. You stand and check the side door. The handle is not turned. As you look about the room, you see nothing that indicates it is a switch to open the door. I'm going to go into the hallway. You walk outside the room, and where do you go? Well, then, not leaving the depot because we gotta get stuff. So I'm gonna go through the door at the end of the hall. You open the door to reveal a closet-sized room with circular leading down a broken light panel overhead and a gas mask on the tiled floor next to the stairs. Why is there a gas mask? Anyway, I think I'm gonna take the gas mask. You know, just for safety. You pick up the gas mask and throw it in your bag. What do you do next? Maybe follow the stairs down. You step down the stairs, feeling out with 1 foot for each step to ensure your safety. As you walk into complete darkness, you wonder if you should call out for Javier, but have no idea who or what it may alert to your presence. Well, I know what's going to alert its presence. You reach the bottom of the stairs and pause for a moment. The air is still. You step away from the stairs, hoping to bump into a wall or something to indicate your location in the room. Your main goal is to find a light switch or some way to get rid of this perfect darkness. You wave your arms out and listen intently. The only sound is the heavy breathing coming from a short distance away, which turns to grunting and finally a growling. Guess what? It's a zombie. And this is where I made my dumb mistake. As you move about, the grunting gets louder as if you're moving closer to it, but underneath this noise is a low volume beeping. As the beeping grows louder, guiding you with each pulse, the throaty snarls intensify. Moving closer, you wonder if this is the best idea. Your leg bumps into something hard and you stumble forward. Your hands reach up to brace yourself and feel something move beneath them. Something grabs your shoulder and you pull away reflexively and hear the deep groan of a zombie. Ah, see, told ya. Zomzoms. Also, just for future reference, if you want to know what happened while I did my stupid mistake, a lot of violence and blood and death. That zombie ripped right into me and ate my guts. You struggle to pull away, but the hand grips you tighter. I'm going to swing my sword because that's smart. It is. Your sword is in its sheath at your side, and with your free right hand, you slide it out. Awkward and off balance, you yank at the blade and free it. You swing and connect with a thump. The blade embeds deeply into some surface of the creature and sticks as you try to work it free. Something cold and wet sprays across your face. The hand slips away from your grasp on your left arm and shirt. Your sword is stuck, but you yank it free, bouncing it against something solid to your right with a clang of metal on metal. You realize the beeping is coming from some kind of control panel or computer, and the sound is so close that it must be emanating from the object on your right. You feel out and come across a series of knobs, switches, and buttons. You fear activating anything leading to your destruction, but the more imminent threat of zombies is more motivation to flip, turn, and press anything. Finally, your hand hits something, and lights flip on, revealing an immense room that practically overwhelms you from its sheer magnitude, possibly the size of a football field. This area is made up mostly of tall, long metal shelves with various boxes and containers covering every inch of them. In front of you is a control panel with 2 screens on the panel and 2 overhead monitors. Near the panel are the 2 bastard zombies that almost overpowered me last time. Both still alive, their mouths moving, arms lifting to reach you. However, they are immobile, seeming to lack the strength to rise. You spot the one zombie you fought, still bearing the signs of the injuries he inflicted, lying on the ground. His appendages swing slowly. But do your appendages swing well? Do they waddle to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? As if falling through the ocean water. The other zombie, dressed in the U.S. military gray, tan, and green camouflage uniform, sits at the console, his left hand moving over a joystick. You're sentient. I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm gonna kill you all. What do you want to use? I'm using my AK-47. You unsling the assault rifle, flip off his safety, turn the selector to single shot, and put a single bullet in the head of each zombie. The lethargic nature of the zombies is unsettling, since you are far more used to the overly aggressive variety. These look more pale and their blood much thicker and brown. It seems they lacked energy or motivation to attack. With the zombies dealt with, what do you do next? Go to the storage room, because we came here for stuff, now didn't we? You head to the wall and decide to follow it around the entire perimeter. After several hundred feet, you reach a corner and peer down a long wall. Near middle 100 feet middle, which is a square metal gate stretching from floor to ceiling. Reaching the gate, you inspect and find it made of thick steel that rolls up into a chamber above, much like a garage door. A narrow switch box exists on the right side, but it is locked with a circular keyhole present in the center. Having no idea how to raise the gate, you continue to walk around the perimeter and find no other exits but more and more rows of shelves and supplies too many to count. The lights in the room flicker and pop back on with a strange electrical cracking. The momentary change in the atmosphere gives you pause to consider your mission to find supplies, and having hit the mother lode, you have a decision to make. No, just take the supplies, take it all. Because, some douche is about to mess with us. With so many boxes of food and supplies, your group could make use of them for months. You peruse the first shelf, canned peas, baked beans, corn, and other vegetables on the first row, with meats and canned fruits on rows 2 and 3 respectively. You pop open a random box, canned Spam. The thought of spooning your meat is quite disgusting. A different type of protein will be a welcome change. Good old meat instead of this oatmeal. The next shelf is a gold mine of batteries of every shape and sizes, from AAA to car and truck batteries. This is followed by tape dispensers, staples, staplers, staple removers, highlighters, mouse pads, and other items which may be useful before the apocalypse, but provides limited use when fighting hordes of flesh-eating ex-humans. You check each shelf on the east all the way up to the garage and find a plethora of useful items, from small firearms to heavy machine guns, waterproof watches, sunscreen, camping gear, inflatable rafts, oxygen tanks, medical equipment, camouflage clothing tools, nails, screws, and more, until you grow tired of listing it all in your notepad. Oh yeah, I forgot we're writing this in a notepad. You pop open a vacuum-sealed metal container and find a can of imported beer. Hell yeah. Beer's disgusting. Though lukewarm, it is the best thing you have tasted in a month. Ew, gross. You cross back around and near the control panel to check a shelf of ammunition. A phone rings. Oh boy, and you freeze. A phone? After a few seconds, you hear the distinctive ring again. The ring of a 1980s style rotary phone. Doesn't that just take you back to the good old days? You haven't heard a phone in over a month, though. Jason mentioned it is still possible through all their wiring. You have almost forgotten that technology existed. A third ring brings you back to focus, the source of which is closed, and you head over to the control panel. A swing-away door is popped open, and inside, sure enough, is a black receiver with no dial pad or wheel. The phone continues to ring, while you stand and consider whether to answer it or not. After half a minute, a female voice sounds out in the room. Answer the control panel phone. You grab the receiver and lift it to your ear. Static comes through the earpiece, but after a few seconds, it clears and a crisp male voice speaks. Hello, please identify yourself. Hell no. I'm not going to tell you anything. You stay silent. After a few moments, the voice repeats the question, but you say nothing. Okay, if you don't want to give a name, that's fine. I'll call you Jane. The sound on the other end becomes muffled as if the microphone was covered and several people are speaking. Then the male voice returns. Jane, we know you are in a depot, but do not know your exact location. Please provide directions. No, this is a fake. This is the military. Also, no, because these guys are evil. I am not giving you anything. Say nothing. You remain silent. Are you deaf? The voice asks. Nope, I'm fine. One of the screens lights up and then fades black. Green letters scroll across. Give us the depot location. Okay, fine, I'll give you the location. This depot is approximately 3 miles southeast of a small town called Temperance. The roads are fairly clear, so take Hilson Road, which leads out of the Temperance, and takes it 20 minutes until you reach Scar Road. The depot is along there. Thank you for the information, the voice says. We are sending a team to your location for assistance. There is a motion on the other end of the line. The chatter of multiple voices scraping of metal chairs on floors. and shuffling of papers. This may be an opportunity to find out more about the people on the other side of the phone. Ask who am I speaking with? The voice comes back on the other end. Where are my manners? He says with a chuckle. Call me Colin. Colin, you douche. After a few seconds, he adds, anything else? We're busy here. I need to wrap up this call. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just hang up the phone now. Some noise in the background. On Colin's end interrupts his response. You hear a woman's voice. Oh, what sounds like skin slapping skin, a muffled yell. Oh, no, you don't. Colin comes back on the view, son of a bitch. Sorry about that, Colin says. Just turning the TV down. Gets kind of loud. You cowardly son of a bitch. Oh, I am pissed. A heavy crash comes through the phone, causing you to pull away from your ear, screaming and shouting straight from the other end, until finally a soft, whispering female voice speaks through it. Oh my god, okay, what? Hello, listen, whoever you are, he's lying to you. There is an ex-military group taking hostages, stealing food, and hunting survivors. They can control the depots from here, but you don't know their locations. Get out of there. To open the garage, you need a key from the panel. Alpha Tango Kilo 797. Her voice breaks off, and you hear more shouting and fighting through the phone. The line goes dead. No! No way, don't go! Oh no. Damn it, I hope that woman is safe. What do you do next? Enter the code. Enter the code. You stand up to the control panel and look at the various monitors, LCD screens, joysticks, and buttons. Press the keypad button, a plain panel lights up in the middle of the board and slides open, revealing a secret compartment. Rising from the area is a slender keypad with tiny buttons. A low LCD screen, a green icon blinks. Type ATK797 to the keypad. The LCD monitor message prints. Code accepted. Garage door set to open. The line clears after a few seconds and returns to the ready prompt. You press the keypad button. The keypad slides down, and the panel slides back over the open compartment. You head back to the garage door found earlier, and sure enough, it is open now, revealing a side hangar with several jeeps, camouflage truck, and 2 motorcycles. Oh, hell yeah! That's cool. The garage is dark and damp and barely lit by a string of light bulbs crisscrossing the metal ceiling. It barely fits 5 vehicles. Oil stains mark the floors, and a faint smell of sulfur hangs in the air. All of the vehicles point away from the garage door toward an odd wall, which is split into 2 by a thick seam in the middle. As you enter the room, you head slowly along the left side of the truck, which is the size of a typical delivery truck, but has 2 sets of wheels on each of the axles, and thick camouflage canvas pulled over the frame. You check underneath the vehicle and see no one. Way to go, being clever. As you reach the front, you turn and walk back the length of the truck, next to an army green Jeep. On top of the vehicle is a large machine gun fixed on a mount with a box of ammunition next to it. A similar Jeep. Oh my god, my shoulder's itchy. Next to line, you follow the back of the vehicles until you reach the 2 motorcycles. Both are light green with a small frame. Not like the much bulkier Harley your neighborhood owned back when you and your Emma were growing up. On the other side of both motorcycles, you see the word diesel. Oh. You gotta love diesel. Written across the top of the frame. The handlebars are angled back with 6 long mirrors spreading out like peacock feathers. From behind you, a sound catches your attention. A moaning. Guess who it is, everyone? Spoilers, it's Javier. You spin toward the sound of the moaning, drifting from further past the motorcycles on the wall. Shelves jut out the various metallic parts and pieces for the vehicles, and a row of new tires of several sizes line the floor. A narrow door stands flush in the wall on the other end away from the open garage door. The light shining through, and the constant moaning cuts the silence. How do you proceed? Investigate the moaning. Creep along the wall, aware of sounds in all directions, with focus on the door and what lies behind. The noise does not sound like zombie moaning, but the variety witnessed in the control area defied anything you have seen to date. Your hands sweat as you glide along the wall. And you pull back as the sound of skin on cement makes a screeching that echoes through the garage. step to the door and spot the outline. It is no wider than a high school locker. You find a square, recessed latch on the door, which pops with a click as you press it. Pausing, you listen and only hear the moan, which seems tied to an exhale as if air is squeezed out of shallow lungs. The doors creak open and a pair of legs jut out. You lean in and see Javier lying on the floor. Ah, see? I told ya. His right arm twisted and bloody. Good for him. Right now, I don't care. And there's a reason that I don't care about Javier. Just wait. His face ashen with eyes closed. He is confined in the space of a closet, shoulders propped against a busted crate with a metal grate lying off the side. His eyes pop open and he calls your name in long, stretched syllables. I'm going to expect him for bites of infection. You crouch down to next to him and look over the damaged arm. His skin is unbroken, but the forearm is bent several degrees. Ugh! Ugh! I just got a chill. Whew. Above his eye, a wound trickles blood in a line down his cheek and neck. And blood spots his hands and face. No bite marks or signs of infection appear over his visible skin. Javier, are you awake? Have you been bitten? No. Arm broken. He points to the ceiling and you spot an open vent above, barely wide enough for a man of his size to fit through. Fearing he was infected, he lifted his shirt and searched for any cuts. As you ascend his body, his eyes go wide and hand clamps around to your throat. Ah, see? This is why. Javier's eyes close and he mumbles Spanish phrases as his hands clench your throat, struggling your grip, his left forearm and twist, which elevates pressure. His lips quiver and spittle flies into your face. His chest puffs out, then collapses, and this pattern continues as you fight against him. I can't knock him out because he'll only come after me, and that's not a good thing. And I don't think I can break away easily from his grip. Like I did last time, I am going to have to kill him. You stand up and push down with one hand on his bicep, another on his wrist, to elevate pressure. Air seeps in through your clenched teeth. You glance down and spot a hunting blade clipped to a cargo pocket of his pants. Your right hand slips down and unsheathes the blade. You lift the weapon and jab Javier through the eye, pushing the blade until the hilt reaches the socket. He shrieks and releases your neck. Blood squirts in an arc over his lips and cheek. His head goes limp, body quivers, and he lets out a long breath before slumping to the side of the closet. You step back from the closet and check your throat to find it sore but uninjured. How do you proceed? Inspect the odd wall. Back door is made of a flexible metal, rigged and segmented. The cold surface clangs as you touch it, and you note a rubber seam running horizontally through the length of the door. On the far side, closest to the truck, a box sits with a long plunger sticking out of it. You press the plunger, hear a buzzing pour over the area, and see the door swing away in halves, one side up, the other down. Past the new opening is a gravel slope upward to a road with a metallic plate in its path, and beyond it a large metal gate. What do you do next? Well, first of all, I'm going to take a drink of water, because my throat is killing me. Second of all, there's no way in hell I'm waiting for that command team. I'm going to go load up and head to the cathedral. Next to the plunger, you find a key box. Which keys do you take? The truck. Because of how much supplies I have and how much I found, there's not going to be any room on a Jeep or a motorcycle. You unlock and open the back sliding door of the truck and drop the back hatch. The space is immense and clear. You begin the arduous task of carrying boxes from the storage room to the back of the truck. At least an hour passes and your arms and legs ache before half the truck is full. See what I mean? There's a lot of supplies. You focus on non-perishable foods, ammunition, tools, batteries, camping gear, and weapons. At the end, you stack 2 cases of beer in the front compartment for Tom. Tom, see, we thought of you. From the overhead speaker system, a familiar voice delivers a message. The extraction team is en route. Please wait for their arrival. Do you heed this request? Hell no, I'm leaving. You climb into the driver's side and start the engine with a low roar. After you press the gas, the truck lurches forward and out of the garage through the open hangar doors. As the vehicle hits the metal plate on the path, the heavy gate at the top of the hill swings open, and you find a paved road covered in blown grass and weeds. You turn right and follow the path until it meets with the road. Sun is setting and the clouds forming, but enough light covers the road for you to see. Traveling through the winding forest, you fly under the dark cover of shadows from dense trees and keep alert to any dangers waiting for you to pass by. You see, there's like a reason why my aunt absolutely refuses to drive in the dark. I don't know why, but it's hard for her to keep an eye on the road. I mean, well, you know, yeah, with all the crazy ass, stupid moron drivers around this town, city, or places that I live. Oh boy. It's a crazy amount of times that I have almost gotten run over by stupid idiots. If I wasn't a quick and spry and the fast runner that I am, I wouldn't be here making these videos, because I would have been dead several times. Oh, you do not know what repercussions will occur from command knowing the depot's location. You pull into the parking lot of the cathedral and cut the motor. It is dark outside, but you spot Uncle Lou in a watchtower waving down and calling the rest of your survivors. Step down from the truck as you cross the length of the vehicle. Tom and Emma are already in sight. Rushing toward the truck, Emma wraps her arms around your neck. We have a lot to talk about, Tom, you say. Glad you made it back. Where's Javier? Tom asks. He's not with me, Tom, you say. Let's get inside and we can debrief you. I want to know all that happened. You swing down the back door and show him the boxes of gear and food. When you head into the cathedral, the rest of the group are in the sanctuary to greet you. Jason sits behind his computer array, and like always, is he always sitting there? He seems to be always there when we're progressing the story. Holy crap. While Heather and Emma lean against a stack of wood in the breeze, Carl and Candace stand on a pillar where a statue of St. Peter rests, and Mindy sits on the edge of a table of guns. No, don't do that. Where's Javier? Asks Uncle Lou as he climbs down the ladder from the watchtower. He didn't make it back. Look, everyone, I want to take Chloe to my office and get all the details. We'll meet as a group in the morning. With all due respect, Tom, we want to know now, says Mindy. You tell the group. No, I have to be honest with them. I mean, that's who I am, right? I'm a minister. I'm like, my job is being in a church. I don't lie. But anything. Yeah, let's go with we were separated, and when I found him, I was being chased and had to run. No. For some reason, he attacked me, and I fought back. Unfortunately, he would not stop fighting, and I killed him. That's true. Wait, Unfortunately, attacked by a zombie, didn't survive. No idea, ran off. No, the last one is actually true. Silence spreads throughout the room. Candace buries her head in Carl's chest, and Mindy grips the edge of the table where she sits until it rattles on the floor. You killed him? Says Uncle Lou. He said she had no choice, yells Emma. Javier was a liability to this mission from the start. I even warned Chloe about him. But to kill him, says Mindy, you couldn't just knock him out or run. Tom steps between you and the rest of the room, raising his arms like a schoolteacher controlling a rowdy auditorium. Everyone calm down, says Tom, his voice booming through the sanctuary. This is why I wanted to talk to Chloe alone. Okay, were you in a lot of danger there? Zombies, bandits, or both? Asked Heather. Explaining lethargic zombies, contact by a so-called military group. Yes. Oh boy, my throat is kind of... Whew. You described the control panels in the depot and the contact you made with the military group's leader, Colin, and the warning given by a woman who you assume was a prisoner. You also described the zombies in the storage area and how they barely had energy to move. The group remained silent and attentive as you recounted details of the trip. At the end of the impromptu meeting, each of them thanks you for their efforts. Tom suggests you meet with him after breakfast to go over the finer points of your day, or mission. You head off to your room, exhausted from the events of today. You arrive in your room and immediately remove your gear and clothes and slip into the very inviting bed. Your mind races with visions of the depot, but sleep casts a deeper hold, and in minutes you drift off. so will I. But I think I'm going to end it here because that is the end of the chapter. And wow, that was interesting and I love that. Also, glad I didn't have to put you guys through me making the dumb mistake of getting myself killed by the zombie back at the depot, because I'm an idiot. Anyway, that was a great chapter. I loved it. It was really interesting to read, although it kind of wears on my throat, but got water. I gotta look for myself, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys are enjoying it, but if you are enjoying it, please hit that button down below. And like always, I will catch you all in the next video. Stay awesome. I will see you later. Bye.